New fallout tonight over the Sarasota Police Department losing its accreditation. We first told you about this last night. We now know one shortcoming involved failing to notify schools about nearby sex offenders, but the chief says her agency is making things right. SNN's Grant Boxleitner has more.
The Sarasota Police Department is no longer accredited by Florida Law Enforcement Accreditation.
And I want to assure the public that our department is still certified, that our officers every day will be out on the street doing the same thing that they did yesterday.
In a press conference, Police Chief Bernadette DePino says an internal evaluation revealed 10 shortcomings for future compliance, so she withdrew from the reaccreditation process last month, and she's accepting responsibility.
It's easy for me to point back and say, hey, these things weren't done before I got here. But what I can say to you is I take responsibility for our agency. I take responsibility for ensuring that our agency meets these standards. That's why we hired a new accreditation manager.
The Sarasota Police Department has been accredited since 2002, with 3 reaccreditations since then, including the most recent in 2012. DePino says one compliance problem that went unnoticed for 2 years was particularly concerning.
There's a statute where you must notify schools, daycare centers and such of a child predator that moves into a neighborhood. And so the police are supposed to go, tell them, look at the website, here's a picture.
The chief blamed the lapse on a personnel change and says the department is now back in compliance. City Commissioner Susan Chapman says she was not told the department was withdrawing from the process.
The lack of accreditation and the withdrawal from the process, I just read the press release.
We still have a very professional agency, and but in the future we will make sure we notify the commissioners in a quicker fashion.
Reporting in Sarasota, Grant Boxleitner, SNN's Suncoast News Network.
Chief DePino says her goal is for the SPD to become reaccredited within 2 years. City Commissioner Shannon Snyder, a retired law enforcement officer, says losing this distinction is, quote, deeply concerning.